Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your hosts Edward McQueen and April Garner.
All right, we're live. All right, we're live. I got my brother Marcus here with me. I know he's live. Good evening. I'm your host, Ed McQueen, and welcome to another segment of our program. This week, you heard the program that says WCM Live, and take those two words. We're trying to keep someone alive. Okay, so based on our promotion, we've got some information that we thought was very, very, very important to our listening audience, and so we wanted to share it with you all. There's a lot of things to back up what's being said tonight, and so we're going to kick it off by saying that we have a co-host who is a cancer survivor, and one of his methods that he chose to deal with that or to address his cancer worked very, very well. And it's been working for a number of years. I've had conversations with him back and forth throughout the months regarding that and regarding his treatment for which he's been using. So, having said that, my brother Marcus is today. Don't worry, April is in the background. April is going to join us, but for sure, Marcus is Marcus McCullough. He's our correspondent for the magazine and for our broadcast. So he's got double jeopardy, I'd say. And so welcome, Marcus. And so let's kick it off by introducing our guest, Marcus. So our guest is Mr. Lee Moultrie. Lee is a cancer survivor and a health advocate. Has his own business regarding that, and I can't really go into depth as to all in the particulars about his entrepreneurship in that field of health advocacy, but I can certainly let him tell you. So welcome, Lee, and if you don't mind, hey, just let the people know a little background about yourself. And we can get this thing off started, man, because it's got some important information that we want our viewers to view. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate the opportunity. You want Marcus to say hello to the group, to the audience?
Yes. Well,
I'll speak a quick hello. I'm happy to be a part of the broadcast this week. Mr. Lee is bringing something very important that a lot of us tend to put toward the wayside due to either fear or potential for expensive needs and things that may cost more money. So I think what he's bringing to the table today is very important for the community and for the rest of our viewing audience, for sure.
Okay, Marcus.
Look, forgive me, but Marcus, I talked as if Marcus was already entrenched and everybody knew him, and just tell him his name and that's it. But okay, but brother, you're just as valuable. So go ahead. All right, go ahead, brother.
And a side note, my business, I am the CEO of Lee Moultrie and Associates. I'm a business development consultant and a business strategist. What I speak about for healthcare and what I'm speaking about now is free. I'm sharing this information with the community.
Right.
I collaborate and partner with different universities and organizations, and most of the things relative to health is free. Okay, and it's a golden opportunity that I share this information, I research this information, because I had an aha moment probably about a month ago. I went to pick up some prescription, and as I picked up the prescription, I said to myself, I'm like, damn, I didn't realize how hard I have to work to stay alive. And it is because of what all of us should be saying to ourselves, of the exercise that I have to do each day, monitoring my intake of food each day, monitoring the intake of drinks I take in per day, the supplements, the prescription drugs, all of this, my sleeping habits. I'm 65 now, and I share with folks that I'm renegotiating my contract with God, whereas into the fact I can get 60 more years. I'm living a good life. I thank God for the life that I live, and most people don't think that I'm 65 when they see me. They think I'm about 55, and I thank God for that. So, as Edward indicated, I'm a prostate cancer survivor and thriver. I completed treatment. I started my treatment December 21st, 2021, and completed it on February 18, 2022. Now, Brother Edward in April had a guest on about a month ago, a surgeon, and did an excellent job. And what we're looking at now, one thing I want the audience to hear now, and what I want you to understand and appreciate. Matter of fact, I'm a native of North Charleston, South Carolina. And in 1967, at 11 years old, we moved up in the world. We moved to Romney Street Projects in downtown Charleston. So I'm a native Charlestonian. I retired from the Air Force 27 years ago. So what I've been working with the Medical University of South Carolina and the University of South Carolina as a community liaison for the past 22 years. And I got my start by when I went in the barbershop one Saturday, I saw a yellow bag talking about, do you want to know more about prostate health or prostate cancer or something like that? And I called the brother up. I called the individual up, come to find out it was a brother. He said, hey, if you want more information, come check me out. We spoke on the phone for about 30 minutes, went to his house. We spoke for about another 3 hours. And now it's 22 years later. One thing about me and information that I would like people to start doing, grab every piece of information you can get access to, especially if it's free. One store that I know has more information than any other store is Harris Teeter. When you go on Harris Teeter, you got these magazines and so on and so forth. Pick up the information, see what you can find. Subscribe to your local newspaper. Now, with me having prostate cancer, as the surgeon you had on about a month ago, he spoke about watchful waiting. They're in this phase now. If you don't have a very aggressive cancer going on, they want you to take your time about surgery. Now, to get back to the word, I want people to understand the word cancer. I want everybody to say within their mind or verbally say the word cancer right now. Just say the word cancer and say cancer and say cancer. And why did I say that? Did anybody die from hearing that word or saying that word? No. Just because you hear the word cancer does not mean you're going to die. Does not mean your family member going to die. The next question should be, doctor, what is my treatment options? That's what you want to know. And then from that point, you and your doctor can make plans of action on what needs to be done. I got diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2015. My doctor told me that it was a non-aggressive cancer. He said, if you want to talk to the robotics guy, you can talk to him. If you wanted to have this type of procedure. So when I went to the robotics doctor, he said to me, Mr. Moultrie, with all due respect, what in the heck were you and your doctor doing to find this cancer? He said, the numbers are too low for you to detect this. What were you doing? And I told him, I said, well, in my community, we call that a blessing. That was a blessing that the numbers were low. But what we were trying to do at that time that we discovered it, we were trying to find out, why did I have a urinary problem? So that's when we discovered it. So from that point in 2015,
there were symptoms.
Well, there were symptoms, but not of cancer at that particular time. Okay. We were searching for one thing. We had one problem. I had a problem, a urinary problem. So he said, let's do a biopsy to find out what may be the problem. So you have to always be investigating if something is not functioning right with your body, or you feel that something is abnormal. That's when you go to your doctor and ask him or her, what can they help you find out about this? Now, when individuals say, I may not have a doctor, well, in the majority of communities throughout the United States, you have this entity called the Federally Qualified Clinic, a Federally Qualified Health Center. And within a Federally Qualified Health Center, you pay based on a sliding scale fee. If you have a little bit of money, you pay a little bit of money. If you have a lot of money, you pay a lot of money. So that's what the Federally Qualified Clinic is all about. Whereas into the fact, no one should be without a medical home. If someone spent some time in the military, they may have access to the VA system. Then you also have within our community in society, you have the Affordable Care Act also. So all of these things are accessible for everyone to tear down all barriers that you, be it male, female. When we're talking about cancer now, I'm talking about cancer irrespective whether you male, female, or children. These are the things that we must be doing now, proactively. Now, when I said I was diagnosed in 2015 with prostate cancer, I did not have treatment until 2021. That is called active surveillance or watchful waiting. Now, that was at age 59. I'm going to back you up even further than that, where all men should be screened for prostate cancer is at age 40. My first exam for prostate cancer was at age 39 in 1995. In 1995, I read the local paper, Charleston Post and Courier, and they had an advertisement saying they want to do screening of all men, especially black men, at age 40 for prostate cancer. I went there and said, hey, I know I'm 39 years old. I'd like to have the exam. They said, well, sir, we're only doing 40 and above. But since you are here, you are concerned, we wish more men would come like you are. We'll go ahead and do it. They did the blood test. I didn't understand what a digital was until I got it, and I was not too happy with that. So after my 22 years in this industry, I tell men, yes, we're going to do the blood test. The doctors must do the digital to make sure that nothing is abnormal growing on that gland. And as what I tell all men, get the digital done, go in the corner and cry, you'll be okay afterwards. You got another year. So
Okay,
we have to look
for our audience that are not in tune with what the digital exam is, I know if you want to give a brief explanation of what it entails.
It entails the doctor touching the prostate gland through the rectum.
Okay. So what does he use?
He used a glove, his finger, to make sure everything is normal. Anything that he feels abnormal, then he brings it to your attention and says something needs to be done or not.
So the abnormality comes into play whenever it's rough, whenever he feels the prostate and it's rough, it's not a smooth prostate. That's when they look at it a little more carefully, right? If it has lumps on it or something. Yeah.
And then they start looking at, well, maybe we need to do something more, a biopsy to see whether anything else is going on. Right. And all of these things are not difficult for anyone to do. It is a part of life. It is a part of your maintaining a healthy life. Okay, these are the things we must be doing, and you must be doing, for men, it should be 40. And then also, if you want to look at younger men, we are looking at testicular cancer and all those things that come along that also. But for the purpose of this call, we're looking at prostate cancer, and then they're also looking at colorectal cancer also at age 50. So we must become more educated about how do we live. We can't be passive about our health.
That's absolutely
and then we also must understand we have children, grandchildren, and also if you're mentoring kids, young children on the ball field of any perspective, this is a part of your responsibility to educate these young kids.
That's true. Now, on our promotion that was sent out, it was described as cancers for anybody. I mean, prostate in your case because you are our special guest, but there were now this new procedure called the Proton Therapy. You went through that. Is that correct? And in your terms, it was a successful treatment so far.
It's the best thing that God could deliver to me. Proton therapy has been approved by the FDA, the federal government, for 33 years. Um, so as with proton therapy is a non-invasive, low-dose radiation outpatient care. I had my treatment in Jacksonville, Florida, at the University of Florida. So as I had that treatment, and there are 39 centers throughout the United States. Unfortunately, there's none in South Carolina at this moment. So I had to live in Jacksonville for 2 months. So it's an 8-week treatment program. And as I indicated, it's non-invasive outpatient care. So your treatments are non-invasive. So once you lay on the bed for your treatment per day, they hit you with some low-dose radiation. You feel nothing. You know nothing is happening. And you do that for 8 weeks. And each time you're there, each day I was there, I would drink you arrive at the treatment center. The treatment center was 1 mile away from my apartment. And my treatment was that you would get there 30 minutes before your treatment each day. You would drink 2 glasses of 8 ounces of water. You would go back in the treatment room for your treatment. Then you would lay on the bed and you would get hit with some low-dose, non-invasive radiation. And 10 minutes later, they're saying, well, we see you tomorrow, Mr. Moultrie. Now, the website for most people can go to the National, you can Google this word, National Association of Proton Therapy, and you see all 39 centers throughout the United States. And you want to find the center that is closest to your home. And so for proton therapy, as Edward said, they do prostate, which I was there for. They also do breast cancer. They do 12 cancers total to start with. So they may do even more than that. You have to ask them the question. But you would have, some would be prostate, breast cancer, head and neck cancer, pancreatic, brain, things of that. Pancreatic, which is for children's cancer. We had children there also. I saw some head and neck cancer. So it is all there. As Edward said, it's been there for 33 years. I just discovered it last year after 21 years being in this industry. Sometimes you just got to hunt and hunt and hunt to find certain information. So that's how God blessed me to find it, and how I'm sharing it with people now, that other people, if you're recently diagnosed with any of these form of cancer, or your family members are, you can go to the website and see if there's a center close to you, and whether you're able to utilize that type of care, that treatment option.
So it's to me, after all that you've said and the process in which you've gone through, indicates a rather expensive process. Okay. And
when you say expensive, what do you mean by that word expensive?
It costs too much. But anyway, I'm just pulling your leg on that. But
when you say, go ahead. When you say cost too much, we have to be careful when we use words like that, because of the fact we're looking at.
Lee, that was a poor choice of words. Okay.
Okay.
It costs too much. I was only kidding at that point. But but it's obvious to me that after having been there 8 weeks, the required amount of time is 8 weeks, and if you're from South Carolina, you got to go there. Since there's no place in South Carolina for us or anybody, then you got to go to Florida and you got to stay someplace. You talk about housing expenses. If you don't have relatives down there or somebody you can live with, and I don't know what the proton therapy itself, how much that costs. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, the cost. Okay, the cost. The treatment varies. Um, my treatment, fortunately, I just became 65 last year. So Medicare paid 80% of my bill. I am an Air Force retired veteran. I have TRICARE for life. That paid the other 20%. My out-of-pocket expense was paying for my apartment for 2 months, my food, and transportation, which I took my own car.
Yeah.
So the cost can vary for different individuals where they're at and their insurance coverage or whatever. Each individual cost may be different in each other state. So we don't know. Our apartments, that there's various short-term rental apartments in that community there in Jacksonville, as it is in Conway and Myrtle Beach. In Charleston, they're raising Cain about short-term rentals here. So you're probably having the same discussion in Conway and Myrtle Beach.
Mr. Moultrie, I got a question for you. So,
yes, sir.
You hear a lot of times treatment options for people who get the cancer diagnosis tend to be radiation, extreme radiation, or chemotherapy. Why do you feel that proton therapy isn't a more, I guess you'd say, a more talked about option?
It's because what you just said. It's not that one that is widely done in a lot of hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not widely done, it's just like, let's say you're going to whatever type of car you have. What's the make of the car you drive?
A Dodge.
Okay, so it's like going to a Dodge dealer, and he might know that a Tesla is a better value for you, but he's going to keep you on that Dodge. He's not going to let you leave there. So we have to be careful when we're not doing additional research ourselves on treatment options, because the doctors may only be telling you as much as what they want you to know. So you have to do additional research. That's why I said when you go in these different stores, grab information, search information. Don't make the number one thing that you know the most about is USC football or Clemson football or the NFL or the NBA. I know none of that stuff. I have no clue in it. My wife will tell you I know nothing about sports, but I know as much as I know about health, politics, and everything else. Entertainment, I don't have time for it. We have to learn and prioritize our health. Why is it that we are saying we want to rely on somebody else to tell us what to eat, how to eat, and whatever, and we're not doing the investigation ourselves?
Absolutely.
I mean, so that and for someone to say, in 2022, that we don't hear about prostate cancer. I heard about it in 1995. I was 39 years old. And so we have to become more responsible. I think for the faith-based community, they said when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I played as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. We are the responsible ones for our lives, our children's lives, our family lives, and we must become hardcore about it. This is real.
Yeah, I definitely agree. One of the viewers put a question with Priscilla Fuller. She said, "Thank you for this important information. How can we stimulate more discussion about this in Black communities to get more awareness and Black men having regular checkups?"
Okay, that's a great question. I love that question because she helped me with a thing. So often, So often we say black men, and I go black men, all men. The Brother Edward and April have received emails from me, and I have a tagline on my email. My quote on my tagline is by a Nobel laureate. It says, "Discovery consists of seeing what everyone is seeing, but thinking what no one has thought." Discovery consists of seeing what everyone has seen, but thinking what no one has thought. So that's what I continually see. And what I'm looking at is when my daughter was 13 years old, she went on her menstrual cycle. I had to run to the store, grab everything for her, get everything based on her menstrual cycle. What happens then? At that point there, every year, a young lady, once she goes on her menstrual cycle, she has an annual physical she must do with her doctor. Well, males don't have that. And we never discuss that with men. And so we must start that conversation with men starting at 13, 14, when we're looking at testicular cancer and everything else, because you got them from the testicular cancer, which Lance Armstrong had, moving into prostate health at 40. So we are the ones. And it's all men. It's not just black men. It's because we talk with black men enough, but I sit with all ethnic backgrounds. So when we're looking at people of color or people all over, that's what we have to look at. So we have to continue to, and so once we get men to start talking and being real, in my treatment, the one thing I share with the treatment, this was not hidden. Well, this was not, we're not the last one to discover this. Well, we're not the only one. The number one question when we went to the treatment center was, how did you find out about this? As you can see the book behind me, you can beat prostate cancer without treatment. So what we are looking at is I discovered it, and I'm sharing the information with everyone else. The book was designed for prostate cancer, but I'm saying this is about all cancers. Right. All the cancers that I mentioned earlier, we must do this. And as someone says, plain English, that's the only thing I know how to do as an old brother from the hood. We have to be real. Yes, I operate at the university level for the past 22 years, but they said, well, Mr. Moultrie, we're glad you're here because you keep it real with us. And also, as Brother Edward said, I'm an ambassador with a project at the Hollings Cancer Center. And what we're doing is educating men throughout the state about prostate cancer.
So, Brother Lee, can I interrupt? The Hollings Center is located where?
Hollings Cancer Center is a part of the Medical University of South Carolina, which is the #1 hospital in South Carolina. It's in Charleston.
Okay.
Yeah. And so what we want to do is have training session, educating people on what's going on. Later on, there's another group I'm working with. We will be doing a rally in South Carolina. So I want to reach back out to you also, that men can do that also. Now, as we're looking at cancers, one of the things we want to do is we want to look at how can we prevent these things by exercising, nutrition. These are the things we must do. As I was speaking with April earlier, I adjusted my diet. I moved to a plant-based diet 100 days ago. So why did I go to a plant-based diet? When I was in treatment, my blood pressure was so high. They were like, Mr. Moultrie, what's going on? What's going on? We thought it was because of the place or whatever. But come to find out with some of the food that I was eating, which was good food. I was eating fruits and wheat bread and all of that, but it was too much. My A1C, I went to 7.1. So when I came back home, I said, I must do something. So one Saturday, I was flipping it through the different channels, and I hit South Carolina ETV. And Dr. Mark Hyman was talking about a plant-based diet that you can change the way you're living and so on and so forth. So for the past 100 days, I've been on that. In the past 100 days, I've lost 25 pounds. I sleep 7 hours a night. I no longer have a urinary problem. And so as me having a plant-based diet, now a plant-based diet that we're talking about, you can eat everything in the world you want to eat. Meat, fish, vegetables. Only one thing you can't eat: processed food.
Well, you never can eat that.
Well, you're right. Well, you never should have. We never should have. And so my wife can tell you, after 20 years, she had never seen me in the kitchen as much. And sadly, since I do smoothies twice a day. And the sad thing was, my wife says to me the other day, she said, since you're doing these smoothies and using the ice, she said, well, you want me to show you how to use the ice maker? I said, no. I said, but I'm going to be humble. I'm going to say, yeah, show me how to use the ice maker. So after 20 years of refrigerator in the house, I know how to use the ice maker now. So I'm doing pretty good.
There you go. Expedite the process.
That's it. So. And so now, as we do that, so that's the nutrition. I changed the diet to plant-based diet. You're eating as much vegetables as you can. I'm cooking everything. I'm not getting anything from any fast food restaurant. And you're eating okra, collard greens, or whatever. Just don't put none of that fat back and all that other crazy stuff in there. And this is less expensive if you eat it the right way. You do it the right way. Also, I'm exercising more. I do water aerobics 3 days a week from 11:30 to 12:30. Now remember, I'm 65. I'm retired. So when y'all get that point, y'all do that too. I'm more responsible with my time. I control my time. Yeah. So the funny thing is, as I'm doing my water aerobics, and I've done it years before, I'm doing the water aerobics, and the lady says to me, well, Mr. Moultrie, you're not getting the techniques right. You're not getting the techniques right. And I said, woman, I'm trying not to damn drown. I don't know how to swim. I said, let's not get carried away with this stuff here. And the only reason I'm saying that, people, we have to have fun creating the lifestyle that we want to have and our health. I don't want you to think that it's very strenuous to do none of this stuff. All of this stuff is fun. And when you're eating, I can do a smoothie in the morning that lasts me from 4 hours to 6 hours without me eating anything else. And believe me, I don't just put stuff in my body just because they say it is. If it don't taste good, I don't eat it. Okay? Well, anybody else have any other questions?
Well, I do believe we're going to take guys, we're having a great conversation right now. Mr. Moultrie is bringing a lot of great information to us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Mr. Moultrie and some more great insight on how to better take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
Brother Edward, how are you?
Wow, man. We're back. Look, this thing is going full blast. Wow. Wow.
I tell you what, I've been listening in the background, and Brother Lee is certainly dropping a lot of great knowledge about proton therapy. And you and Marcus and Brother Lee are having an excellent conversation as it relates to this type of treatment. And so I definitely don't want to stop the flow, because we had some, good comments coming in, and a great question from Priscilla Fuller and all that other good stuff. And I know we have a lot to cover.
Yeah, and let's reaffirm about this. The cancer is not just prostate cancer, which he is a victim of one of them. But he was speaking in terms of all cancers. Mm-hmm. Just needed to spotlight that.
Yeah, I think the audience got that from what he was saying, but because he's a prostate cancer survivor, it makes sense that you all are, focusing on that a little bit more, because that's his personal experience. And so I think it's wonderful, though, to know that there's this type of therapy out there. And unfortunately, it is, sometimes it is hidden information, not for public consumption. And a lot of times we find out about different types of therapies and treatments in that way,
right.
From institutions that actually focus on alternative types of treatments for things like cancer and whatnot. So I think it's great information.
Absolutely.
That's being disseminated tonight. Exactly. So, of course, Brother Edward, we have some other good community information, and I'm sure Brother Marcus is going to bring us some updates tonight. I think he has some things coming from the city and the county. Is that right?
Right.
Yes, for this evening. And then also, I want to highlight, before we get into back into the conversation, and also highlight Brother Marcus, but the 2022 Summer Reading Initiative has kicked off, and I tell you, it's going to be
mighty.
Yeah, it's going to be a real exciting one for our young people this summer, ages 8 to 18.
Right.
And so I want to talk a little bit about it. We're going to have the organizers of this particular initiative on in a couple of weeks to talk a little bit more about the reading project. Of course, World Community Magazine, the Literacy Coalition, and the network are all partners to bring this reading initiative back for the third time. This is the third annual Summer Reading Initiative. And so they started with Ghost Boys, or I should say we started with Ghost Boys. And this was during COVID when we first kicked off the Summer Reading Initiative. And then after Ghost Boys, last summer it was Stella by Starlight. And that was an excellent book. I read both so that I could be aware of what the students were going to be talking about.
Right.
And this year they're doing something else. And, we have to give special shout out to Ms. Marjorie McIver and the crew that she's pulled together to make this all happen. I don't have all of the names, so I'm not going to name everyone, but I can tell you that, in the past couple of years, the actual curriculum has been kind of formulated by her daughter, Hannah McIver Sands, or I should say Hannah McIver Sands. And this year, I believe there are a few more people who are at the table, such as April Brown and Marlo Frazier and a few others, who pulled together this great summer reading project. And one of the things that we definitely want the students to understand is that, literacy, be it, actual literature that you're reading to enrich your learning and your understanding, is highly important. There's different types of literacy out there that is used to help enlighten young people and to make sure that they are not only aware of certain life skills, but also these literary works are valuable tools for them to improve their reading skills and their comprehension skills. And they're wonderful stories, that they're classics. I mean, when my daughter English found out that the reading program included the book, The Watsons Go to Birmingham, she was like, Mom, that was one of my favorite books growing up. So, it's amazing how literature can have an impact on a young person's life. And so I wanted to share with everyone that if you are interested in being a part of this summer literacy program, or having your young person be a part of this summer literacy program. It's real easy to sign up, and I'm going to tell you how you can sign up in just a moment. But I can also tell you that, you know, when these young people sign up, they get more than just books to read. There's, you know, discussions about the book. There are projects that they actually participate in, and things that will totally enrich their experience as they learn more about these literary works of art. And so, you know, as a part of the literacy program, we want to make sure that anyone who wants to sign up has the appropriate information on how to do so. And so one thing that they can do is, or the main thing that you should do is go to wcmagazine.net. And when you go to wcmagazine.net, there is a channel or a navigation on the menu that says 2022 Summer Reading Initiative. When you go to that and you click, you will see a form that you should complete. And when we receive the registration form, Ms. McIver will actually send you more information about the summer reading program, including how you can purchase the books, or if you're in need of books. I think there is a limited number available, but she will give you all of the information that you need, including the curriculum for the summer to help you get started. Now, this program only runs for 4 weeks roughly. So it's roughly a month. So it started on the 26th, and I think it's running through July 31st. And so you have about 4 weeks to complete the projects and to read the book and engage in some of the discussions that you will have with some of the mentors. And it's just a great way for young people to get involved for the summer. So
absolutely. Yeah. It's a reward at the end. I can't say what it is.
No, don't say what it is.
But don't spend it all in one place.
Brother Edward, you know, we love to encourage the young people to be involved in things like this, but you have to do it for more than just the reward of the possibility. Absolutely. You know, you definitely want to be involved in this because it will just enrich your learning and your understanding of great literary works. And so go to wcmagazine.net, and I'm going to attempt to pull up our website so that they can see what it looks like on the website. And I hope this works. Let me go to, nope, that's not it. I'm gonna go to here. There it is. Okay. Because I want everyone to see what this looks like. So this is the actual website here, wcmagazine.net. And as you scroll through, I'm actually on the summer reading page. So I'm going to go back to the home page, which, as you can see on the home page, all of the ads that we feature, that you can access the magazine here. Just in case you were wondering, this is what wcmagazine.net looks like. And then if you see the 2022 Summer Reading Initiative, you just click there and it takes you to the page that has all of the information, shows you the book covers. So if you're purchasing the books for your young people, these are the two covers that you want to look for to make sure that you have the appropriate books for this summer reading venture. And then you can find out a little bit more about both books, the Watsons Go to Birmingham and the Green Book. So here's a little bit of information in the middle that explains what both books are all about, and also why they're essential to, our culture, and not just our culture, but I think everyone can participate in this program and learn something that they've never learned before. There's also a special Gullah component to this as well. And so Ms. Mack and the team that she's working with have actually connected with some people who can come on and give the students a lesson in Gullah, which is excellent. Here's some participant information. Again, it runs from June 26th to July 30th. And then here is the form. So make sure you complete the form in its entirety, your first name, last name, email address. Make sure you include your home address, and that's home address, city, state, and zip code, best phone number, your age, the name of the school that you attend, and your grade level, and just hit submit. And then you'll receive some information about how to participate in this great program. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention because it is a great initiative for the summer, along with you have the summer jobs program, Brother Edward. There's a lot of great things for the young people.
Oh, geez.
This summer. Talk a little bit about what's going on with the summer jobs program, because I've had a couple of people to hit me up, and I'm just passing names on to you. And
we're taking care of them. The name that you're passing on, we're taking care of them. We can't say right now. We have to go week by week in terms of the funds that are coming in. But so far we have 29 with 30 with you, so you'll want to use this submitted. I think about 30 young people,
Awesome.
students.
That's awesome.
And we got them employed just around the city and around the county, so that they can just be working from 4 to 5 weeks. Now, we can say definitely that it is 4 weeks. The 5th week will depend upon the funds that are coming in from our donations and stuff like that. So it's been working out well. They've been getting paid every week. Everybody's happy. A lot of smiling faces out there.
Who doesn't love a paycheck every week? Yes, I'd love to get a paycheck every single week. That's awesome, Brother Edward.
Really, a lot of smiling faces out there. We're delighted about it. We're I can't say too much except that we're just hoping that more funds could come in and just make us feel more comfortable about adding 2 and 3 more students. Again, it'll go to 6 weeks if we get enough money. Okay, if the funds keep coming in, we'll just dish it right back out, to the students and keep hiring them and letting them working, because that means a lot. I believe over for a student not having anything else to do, but right now, we're finding tasks for them to do. Okay. And it's working out well. We got them at a number of places, and I think it's appropriate that I, let the audience know some of the sites that have agreed to accept some of the students and let them work there. Like we've got Whittemore Park Middle School, Conway Recreation Center, Palmetto. Church, Palmetto Works, headed by Reverend Adamson. Okay, we've got a local lawyer's office, McIver Graham. Okay, so we have students there who being exposed to what it's all about on a daily basis. About
to work in a law firm.
Yeah, right. And what lawyers do, okay, to a great extent. And these are from 14 to 17. I think that one is 16, I'm sorry. 14 or I'm sorry, 14 years old, I believe. 15. But anyway, we've got a couple of there, and James Fraser Recreation Center. We got a number of them out there. And Miss Betty Goss is doing a fantastic job. I mean, this lady, I can't say enough about her. Not just working with the magazine per se, but what she's doing out there in the Bucksport community, and the Old County Council for Aging, where they have the I guess I forgot, but Miss Deborah Alston is heading the aging program out in Bucksport. And if someone wants to text me and call it and let us know exact, then fine, we'd appreciate that. And we got a couple other places which are not privy of now. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Conway High School, we've got about 5 of them out there. Okay, and that's working under the Camp Great program. Used to be headed by former officer or ex-officer Cassandra Spain. She had done extremely well for the past 5 years, I believe, 5 or longer at Conway Middle School. Now they shifted over to Conway High School, and we've got 4 students out there. Whittemore Park School, Conway Recreation Center, McIver and Graham Law Firm, and the Bucksport Senior Center, which I failed to say correctly a few minutes ago. Also, this is a special shout out to the Hope and Freedom Home Care. You've heard of that, April? Hope and Freedom Home Care. Yeah, headed by Miss Angela Walker.
Okay.
And her son Tavis. Fantastic. It's right at 1400, I believe, Church Street.
Mhm.
It's a new building, and she's taking on a student who will be he's working there, young man, and she's extremely happy with him for 4 or 5 weeks. He's doing an excellent job. He's as much as I know, he's entailing a lot of. I saw him doing some paperwork, but her business is home care, so he's learning a lot about that. Okay, and transporting of the elderly.
Mhm.
So we've got them out there. Like I said, we've got 29, I believe. Yeah. Now.
Well, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah.
We'll add more as we get more funds coming in.
All right. Well, if you're interested, get your name on the list. We can't, of course, it's been open for a while as far as taking students in for the summer jobs program. So when did you start the program this summer?
The program started 7 years ago. It started at Whittemore Park School,
Mhm.
Whittemore Park Middle School, and started off with 2 students, by the way.
Wow.
2 students. I'll tell you, and everybody was enthused about it. It started off with actually, you need to put her name up there. She's in the commentary. Mrs. Joel, you call her Miss, but Joel has been kind of like the bedrock of that spin on. It's constantly on her mind about just helping students. Of course, this is you might as well call it a nonprofit, but we're not registered as that. We just open it up and just
community service.
Yeah, just community service. Okay,
you're giving back.
But you got Jen R. Falk, who's our treasurer, let no money slide by, collecting the donations, so she'll let us know. So if I'm missing anybody, please text me and let me know. So, Miss McIver, and hey, I don't want to call you name. You were in there. You're intertwining in there, right? So everybody knows that you're in there somewhere. So of course, and April has been with us almost since inception. Maybe started about 4 years ago, April, something like that. When you really got 5 years ago.
As far as how long I've been with you all?
No, not with us. I mean, that's been forever. But I mean,
yeah, I would say about 4 or 5 years ago.
About 4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm delighted about it. You can't don't talk about a profit or making money or something like that. I mean, you forget about that. But that wasn't the intent. The intent was to not just in general give back to the community, but when you see a need like keeping young people, especially, which is our future, out of trouble right now,
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is look on the news in the evening. Seemingly, is quite frequently now where you see a lot of orange suits, and we have some young people who 20 years old, and it doesn't have to be. Okay, so
right, it doesn't, and so that's why programs like the Summer Reading Initiative and the Summer Jobs Program are so important, because it is a form of mentoring. It's a form of it's a way to actually prepare the young people for the future. Your literacy part goes without saying, because we have to make sure that we have these types of programs available, mainly because of those achievements gaps, and looking at the performance scores of typically our Black students who fall behind. A lot of times, this is a way to make sure that they're doing something over the summer to keep their brain waves going and to prepare them as they, move forward, into the next school year. I can't tell you how many times I was told growing up, read books that'll help with your SAT scores, that it'll improve your vocabulary, to do X, Y, and Z. And it's so true, and then with the Summer Jobs Program, you're preparing them for the workplace, the workforce. By introducing them to these opportunities. And you never know, just like the young person who's working in the law firm, it may inspire them to become an attorney one day or to work in that arena. So great work. As always, this is how the village works together and pulls together to give back and also to make sure that our children have a bright future. So,
and it's becoming more critical every day.
Every single day.
Become more critical every day.
Yes, sir. Every single day. So
every day. As to that, I was just told I was talking too much. So
well, I can tell you that.
Go back to our guest.
Yeah, well, this is great info, and we still have Marcus and Brother Lee. So, which way do you want to go? I'll follow your direction.
Can we let the audience know that we won't be broadcasting next week?
Yeah. So, of course, 4th of July is next Monday. So, we'll be taking 4th of July. We'll be on a little vacation or hiatus, but we will be back the following week.
Absolutely.
To talk more about both of these programs, as a matter of
fact.
Ms. McIver is watching tonight, and she's making a comment as well about the summer jobs, the importance of the summer jobs program. And I think it's just great that you've even created these community partnerships. The community partnerships are valuable.
Absolutely.
You can't place a price tag
on
having a partnership with these business organizations, especially when they're willing to work with you. So, so at any rate, Brother Edward, which way do you want to go now? You want to go back to Brother Lee? You want to pull Marcus in and let him do his update real quick?
Yeah, let's pull Brother Marcus in. He's been waiting in the wings over there.
Right. Well,
he's been joining.
He was doing a great job earlier.
Oh, fantastic job! Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to say anything. Jesus must have to say anything, and Marcus just stepped up to the plate. Way to go, brother. Okay.
I appreciate it. And just to jump back on the summer jobs thing, like you said, 7 years ago, I was one of the two. And it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I guess it has. Wow. But it definitely prepared me a lot for the workplace. I've worked a couple jobs that I've been at a long time, and preparing now to step into the career workforce. I still take some of those same skills I learned then into the different jobs and things that I take place in now. So it's definitely something very important, and I'm happy to see it's grown to the number it has, for sure.
Wow. Yeah. Well, glad to see you blossom like the way you are, man. I'm glad that we had something to do with that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely had a big part in it, because believe it or not, I was shy at one point in time in my life.
Wow.
Exactly. I know.
Okay.
Well, until the paycheck started, so we bringing the paychecks.
Yeah, the weekly paychecks were also very nice.
Okay.
But let's do a little weekly rundown. Everybody knows there wasn't a city council meeting this week. There will also not be one next week in observance of 4th of July. But we still have a lot of things going on in the area. We'll start out with the good news. I love to start out with good news, especially when it involves the youth in the area. I want to give a quick shout out to the Conway Girls Softball 10U State Championship team. A lot of people don't know, but the girls softball team from Conway that travels won the state championship last year as well, under the same coaches. A lot of the same players as that were part of that same team. And we want to give them a big shout out. They worked real hard. They traveled and they went and performed at an exceptional level. They won 9-3 was the final score, and they played a team all the way from North Augusta, which is on the other end of the state. So that's a lot of hard work these young women and their parents and their coaches put in, and a lot of support from the community. So we want to make sure to give them a quick shout out. So instead of happenings of the meeting, we're going to do happenings around the county this week. A lot's taking place. Everybody knows today was the runoff election day, and if you did not go out and get one of these, shame on you.
Right.
Shame on you, because regardless of your party affiliation, there were runoff elections in both parties. So you need to make sure you got out and voted today, because like I said, these elections are the ones that truly count more in my personal book than the ones that take place at the national level. A lot of very important elections take place, and a lot of people didn't understand runoffs, something that I missed over. I didn't explain. So in a runoff election, if you did not vote for a certain party, then you could not partake in the runoff elections for the other party. So say, for instance, you voted in the Democratic Party, then you can't take place in the Republican runoff. A lot of people don't understand that, but because a lot of people tend to reach out and ask questions about that, because they'll go, because say, for instance, in this election, there were more seats and more positions taking place in the runoff for the Republican Party on this election than there were 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, everybody got to vote on the same amount of seats. But in the runoff election, if you voted Republican in the Republican primary, then you can vote Republican in the Republican runoff. But you can't vote Republican in the primary and then vote Democrat in the runoff. Mm-hmm. That's something I missed over that I didn't explain as well. So a lot of people probably didn't get very good clarity and understanding on that going into voting today. So we want to help explain that, break that down a little bit. But also another big issue that's been on a lot of people's forefronts within the past week has been the Planned Parenthood laws changing in the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So a lot of people, pretty much everybody understands basically what took place on the national level, but I want to break down what took place on the state level. On today, actually, governing master signed a law into effect banning abortions if the ultrasound can be found in a heartbeat. So people don't understand this fact. Heartbeats can be found as early as 6 weeks in the gestation period. And that's fairly early, and a lot of people also don't realize that at 6 weeks of pregnancy, a lot of people don't understand that they are pregnant because there's not a lot of showing. There's a lot of symptoms that haven't fully kicked in yet, and experts say that at 6 weeks upon conception, a heartbeat can be detected. Now, I want to give people a little rundown here on some of the exceptions that take place in cases of rape, incest, or the mother's life is in danger. Then an abortion can take place. But there's a big issue because 12 out of the 46 counties in South Carolina do not have an OBGYN that is a Medicaid partner. So that means that if you have Medicaid as your primary source of insurance, that in a quarter of the state, if you live in some parts of the state where they don't have representation, it'll be even more difficult for you to get the checkups and the examinations so that they can determine what to do about your case. So we want to make sure people understand and really look at what service providers they have. Like Mr. Moultrie was saying, do your own research, understand your coverage, understand what can take place so that you can be prepared in need if the time does come where you have to make a decision in such a matter. Also, tax-free weekend, something everybody loves to talk about. They've announced a tax-free weekend will begin August 5th and run through the 7th. That means that will exclude the 6% sales tax on a lot of things, but that excludes things such as new cell phones, a lot of other leisure items. This sales tax-free weekend primarily pertains to back-to-school shopping, so school supplies, a lot of school clothing, computers, notebooks, things of that nature that can help prepare people to go back to school. And also the last point I have in the happenings from around the area is on Monday, there was a plan proposed to the Bucksport community in the James R. Fraser Community Center about flooding and how they want to mitigate the flooding in that area. The sad part about it is that the Bucksport community is ranked in the top 25 list for the worst flooding communities in the eastern U.S. Now, people that don't understand the water system around here, there are multiple bodies of water in Horry County that pretty much all intersect in Bucksport, all the way from the Waccamaw River and the Intercoastal Waterway. So that means that the Bucksport community is one of the last spots that the water hits before it goes out into the ocean. That also means that water coming from states like North Carolina and some parts of Georgia will also flow into the Bucksport community. And there's not as much drainage, and flooding, it just backs up more and more and more and more because that is one of the lowest points that the water runs to before it hits the ocean. So they proposed a plan to install new drainage pipes, clean out ditches, redirect the water in the pipes so that it's not all backing up into one area. And they're also going to clean out old ditches and install some more new ditches and add retention ponds in some areas to help catch that water and send it away from a lot of the residential areas. So I know a lot of people were talking about that. It was a very big issue that they've been dealing with for a long time. But within the past 5 years, this hit Bucksport so bad to the point where there are people now who are still trying to rebuild 5 years after the tragedies that have taken place as far as the flooding in that area. So we want to really keep them lifted up and also stay up to date on it and see if there's any way you can help.
I think it's interesting that even with all the flooding issues, there's still some development that's happening down there. So that tells us, if we are really paying attention to that picture, that all is not lost. Because I don't know anybody who would go down there and want to build around an area or an environment that is prone to flooding, and to take on the kind of issues that the residents have taken on in the past few years.
Absolutely.
But that new road that connects the backside of Bucksport to the Johanna Bridge. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you travel back there, you will see some fantastic looking homes that are stilted.
That's right.
So, the residents in that area, the residents of Horry County who are concerned about the flooding issue, should definitely pay attention to what's going on in that area. It's good to hear that they're trying to do things to mitigate the flooding issue with the cleaning of the ditches and the drainage, and and I'm sure drainage is a big issue. That's become an issue even inside of Conway.
That's right.
Where they're finding that some of the older housing developments really do not have the proper drainage, or the drainage is probably blocked, and so water started backing up on 9th Avenue down near Creel Street. It was kind of crazy. Never seen anything like that before. All a drainage issue. So this is good information that you're giving us, Marcus, and I hope that people will continue to pay attention to that, and again, pay attention to the bigger picture.
That's right.
And make sure that they're
absolutely,
that things are being taken care of on their behalf, and they're not being pushed out unfairly.
Yeah. The biggest thing, and that kind of reverts back to the voting thing, which I was speaking on. This is a big time where people in that community need to rally together and go to their county councilman and really make a difference and make their voice heard, so they can understand what took so long for us to finally get this, and why is it just not happening whenever all this new building is taking place. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. On this new road. Mm-hmm. So they need to really stand together and make sure their voices are heard and combat this issue, mm-hmm. because that is one of the bases to the beginning of things such as gentrification. So they need to make sure, mm-hmm. to really make sure they're a part of that and preserve that community heritage, because a lot of people who have been there for generations and generations lost homes. So, mm-hmm. But on to the next thing, I'll give my quick little calendar rundown, and we'll be out of everybody's hair. So the Conway Rec Department Sports and Fitness Center is offering a new event. Once again, we want to really commend Miss Janice Hopkins and Mr. Ashley Smith on always trying to get the community involved. On Wednesday, July the 6th, from 8 p.m. till 9:30, they are having a BYO pool float and watch a movie. The movie is going to be Finding Nemo. It is free to members and $2 to non-members. You can come in, watch the movie with your family, enjoy a couple snacks, hang out on the pool floats. They want you to make sure that you call and register at 843-488-1950, or come into the desk and register. Registration closes on July the 5th at 7 p.m. and there's 100 people that is their max occupancy. So make sure you visit the website for the Sports and Fitness Center and register, or call or stop in. Like I said, 100 people is the max. So it's going to be first come, first serve. Make sure you get in and really get to enjoy that event.
And that's during July, from what's the date again?
July 6th, which is next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. till 9:30. And then also, starting this Friday, they have a new workout schedule at the Sports and Fitness Center. Starting July 1st, they're going to do 6 classes and 6 blocks. It's going to be starting at their regular morning time for workout classes at 8 a.m. This is free to members and $5 to non-members. This will also replace the old classes that they had scheduled, took place in the mornings at the rec center. 6 classes. They got a lot of different things, a Zumba. They have cardio classes, different instructors, a new form, new layout, and they're really excited to unveil this and offer more classes and more opportunities to the citizens of Conway. Also, don't forget, they have the Waccamaw Cooperative Farmers Market taking place on Saturday, as usual. And got a little update. Cucumbers are hot. People have cucumbers out. I know we have them out for sure. So I can attest that people will be having cucumbers out and ready to sell. Cucumbers are ready. So peppers are already ready. People are putting out zucchini. I know we have those out too. Blueberries are in season now. A lot going on. A lot of great produce to get out there and enjoy. So make sure you stay abreast of that. You know, that's part of what Mr. Lee was talking about earlier.
Blueberries.
Yep, part of what Mr. Lee was talking about earlier.
Love blueberries. Love blueberries.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have for the week. I just wanted to give everybody a quick rundown. You guys stay safe. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, we're gonna bring back Brother Lee.
Brother Lee, you're gonna give us some closing remarks, brother. I know there's probably a lot more that you can say. We're gonna have you back again, okay?
We need to.
Well, what I want people to understand is the treatment center I was at, it is actually the University of Florida Health Proton Therapy Institute. And that's it there. For anything, any questions that you have about cancer, you can go to the American Cancer Society website, which is cancer.org. And their number is 800-227-2345. That is the best navigation system on cancer. You can call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And to close out, like you were saying about some of the signs and symptoms for prostate cancer is blood in the urine, problems passing urine, trouble getting an erection, pain in the hips. But all of this information is on the American Cancer Society website. Or if you call them, they will mail this information to you also. Walking exercise. I went and walked the mall today. Why did I walk the mall today? Because I want to encourage people who may feel as though that they don't live in a safe community or it's too hot outside. I walked the extreme of the Northwoods Mall in North Charleston, and it's about a mile. So it took me 20 minutes to walk there, and that was about 11 o'clock. And I asked the security, are you taking care of seniors when we come in here? They said, sir, they're in here at 7:30 in the morning. Black, white, or indifferent. They're in here walking the mall. So for any individual, especially young ladies, I remember being at the university, I would see young ladies walking in high heel shoes or whatever. Please consider walking in sneakers and changing shoes when you get to your office or workplace. That's what I would consider to you. And also, this community here, Conway, you have a great doctor there, I think it's Dr. McIver.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at your website, and he says the primary care, and he treating condition from A to Z. You have a doctor that's well respected, and I've heard him several times. This is a well-respected doctor in your community. I don't care you black, white, or indifferent. Use this doctor here. As Marcus said a few minutes ago, he has a Dodge. If you bring in a specialized doctor to talk to you about a particular disease, that surgeon is going to try to sell you to get you to come to his practice. Dr. McIver needs to be the first point of discussion on anything that's going on with the health of that community. I'm in North Charleston. I've not met that brother. He's not going to buy me no coffee or nothing. But you need to embrace a trusted person in your community to make sure that your health and welfare and your family's health is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
This doctor, and he spent all the time doing COVID, and I saw the advertisement coming out on him and doing the thing. I wanted to impress that upon this community. Use that practice. He said he treats everything from A to Z. He does every insurance there is in the world. If not, you can bring some blueberries over there. He might be able to take that. So y'all want to make sure y'all use that doctor. When you bring in a specialized doctor from any particular profession, be it male, female, black, white, or indifferent, he or she going to sell you on that dodge. Dr. MacGyver is the one that you are the most trusted person. He'll lead you to who you need to go to. That's the person you need to let be the first point of any discussion about your health care. I love all of you, April and Edwin. I met several years ago. I love you for what you do for your community, and nice meeting Marcus. All of the people who are listening now, April or Edwin can forward you the information on my diet and how to reach out to me. You can go to leehmoultrie.com and reach out to me. I've traveled to Conway many times and talked to different people. Again, it's not about making money all the time.
Yeah,
it is
right.
How do we enhance the quality of life of our community? And our community is a global community. And we talk about people of color, people throughout the whole world. So let's not get away from all this money. And if you feel that you're not at the weight you need to, go to the Centers for Disease Control website, put in your information that tells you if you need to lose a few pounds or not, and make the necessary adjustments so you can be here living a healthy life with your children, grandchildren, your partner, your spouse, whomever. You don't need to be having strokes and heart attacks, diabetes, if you can prevent it, and or you can change it. Mm-hmm. This is being real, okay? You don't, when I worked at the Holland Cancer Center and at the Medical University of South Carolina, I said the thing that was missing is people on the outside don't see what patients have to go through. Mm. And you have to, I had to be real with myself. I said, I don't want that stuff happening to me at 65. So I made the necessary adjustments. And I asked my neighbor, my last thing, my neighbor is a trauma nurse, African-American woman, and she's been doing plant-based diet for 3 years. And I said, Terry, when does the bad dreams stop? She said, bad dreams? I said, yeah, nightmares, being on a plant-based diet. When does the bad dreams stop? And she said, what bad dreams? What nightmare? I said, well, when I go to sleep at night, I'm having nightmares that Bojangles and Popeyes and Kentucky Fried Chicken chasing me down. I said, she said, Mr. Moultrie, you crazy. But that's what I'm showing you people. We can have fun living a good quality of life. Don't stress yourself out. I'm 65. You ain't gonna know it because I'm enjoying life. And I want you to enjoy the same thing I'm doing. Make sure you're getting everything needed. And I look forward to come back and fellowshipping with everyone and do whatever. And I'll come down there to Conway, hang out with y'all again like I did before.
Yeah,
thank you for this. Thank you for this opportunity to be on here with your audience and you.
Well, we thank you for the information that you provided, yes, man. Okay, really, most sincerely about that. So, and thank you, our viewing audience, for you to put up with us for this length of time.
I know it's all good information.
Yeah. I hopefully it was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it for us. Marcus keep followed it up with more good information as usual. I mean, what can we say? So until next week. I think April's already said it won't be
2 weeks
next week, right?
Right, we'll return in 2 weeks.
Return in 2 weeks, mm-hmm. and April's got some good stuff lined up too in 2 weeks, right, April?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, some more summer stuff for the youth.
And if you, I didn't get anything to post about that was Summer Jobs program, but if you have funds that have donations that you would like to contribute, please feel free to do so. You can give me a call at 843-331-3043. So I didn't have it prepared for this program, but if we write it down, 843-331-3043, that gets you there for wanting to provide a donation. Okay, we certainly appreciate it. We would like to hire more students before the summer's out. we got to give them something to do. We have to give them something to do. Okay, keep their mind off of wearing an orange suit. All right. Having said that, we'll see you next week.
All right.
2 weeks. Sorry.
2
See you in
weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. And everyone, please enjoy and have a good 4th of July.
Yes, be safe.
Don't get in the way. Don't be brave enough to start with these fireworks. That can be dangerous. Some can be awfully dangerous. Okay. And we don't know what we're doing. All right.
Brother Lee, it's time for you to go. That's an inside joke, people. Look, we'll call you later and talk about it.
Absolutely, bro.
All right, everybody. Have a good.
All right, everybody.
Take care.
See you next week. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner.